It started on an ordinary evening in the small coastal town of Emsworth, where the air always smelled of salt, and the sunsets painted the sky in gold. Anna sat on the wooden bench facing the sea, holding a folded letter close to her chest. It was from Noah, the boy who had promised her forever before leaving for the city. "I'll come back before the summer ends," he had written in his neat, careful handwriting. That was 3 years ago. She still came every day, at the same hour, sitting on the same bench, tracing his words again and again until the ink nearly faded. Her mother had stopped asking her to move on long ago. Even her friends had grown tired of reminding her that Noah wasn't coming back. But Anna couldn't let go. How could she, when every part of her life still whispered his name? The cafe. They used to visit, the songs they sang, the stars they counted on the pier, all of it still belonged to him. Noah had gone to chase his dreams. He wanted to become a photographer, to travel the world and return with stories captured in frames. Anna supported him, even when her heart ached at the thought of him being so far away. They promised to write to each other, and for a while, they did. Letters came every few weeks, filled with photos, love, and promises of a shared future. But one day, they simply stopped. No goodbye, no reason. Just silence. Some nights, Anna wondered if he'd met someone else, someone who made him forget. But deep down, she never believed that. She told herself he must be lost, maybe hurt, maybe waiting for her to find him. So she kept waiting. Rain or shine, she came to that same spot, wearing the same blue scarf he'd given her. "I'll find my way back to you," he'd said, smiling, the day he left. She had believed him. But time is cruel in ways love can't heal. Seasons changed, tides came and went, but Noah never did. Still, Anna waited, until even her reflection in the sea began to look like a stranger's. The world moved on, yet her heart stood still. She waited, because she didn't know how not to. Years passed quietly, like waves brushing the shore and retreating again. Anna had learned to live with her waiting. She taught art at the local school, painted sunsets, and helped her mother with the flower shop. But every evening, she returned to that bench by the sea. It had become her sacred place, where hope and heartbreak met in silent companionship. One autumn afternoon, as the wind danced with fallen leaves, a stranger came to town. He carried an old camera bag and a quiet look in his eyes. Anna noticed him at the cafe, sitting alone, flipping through photographs. She didn't think much of it until she saw one picture, her picture. It was of her, sitting on the bench, looking out at the sea. The angle, the tone, the emotion. It was unmistakably Noah's work. Heart racing, she approached him. "Where did you get this?" she asked, her voice trembling. The man looked up, startled. "You're Anna," he said softly, almost as if he'd seen her before. "Noah talked about you. I was his roommate in the city." Anna's breath caught. "Where is he?" she asked, eyes wide with desperate hope. The man hesitated, his lips pressed into a thin line. "He wanted to come back," he whispered. "But there was an accident 2 years ago. He didn't make it." The world fell silent. The sound of the sea, the wind, everything faded into a single echo. He didn't make it. The man placed a small box in her trembling hands. "He wanted me to give you this, if I ever found you." Inside was a photo. Her, sitting on that same bench, sunlight behind her, looking toward the horizon. On the back, Noah had written, "For the girl who taught me how to see beauty in waiting." Tears rolled down Anna's cheeks as she clutched the photograph to her heart. She had waited so long for someone who could never return. But in that moment, she realized he had never truly left. His love lived in every photograph, in every sunset, in every quiet heartbeat that still called his name. After that day, Anna still went to the bench, but something had changed. She no longer waited in sorrow. She began painting again, capturing the ocean in colors she had once reserved only for memory. She created an art gallery in town and called it The Ones Who Waited. Each painting told a story, not just of Noah, but of anyone who had ever loved and lost and still found the courage to hope. One morning, as she sat sketching by the shore, a little boy wandered up to her, holding a small seashell. "My dad used to take pictures too," he said with a shy smile. "He said the sea helps you remember." Anna smiled gently, taking the shell from him. "He was right," she whispered. "The sea remembers everything." That night, the sky turned crimson, the waves soft and calm. Anna looked up, tears glimmering under the fading sun. "You kept your promise, Noah," she murmured. "You found your way back, just not the way I imagined." The wind brushed against her hair, carrying the scent of salt and something sweet, something like peace. And for the first time in years, Anna stood up from the bench and walked home, her heart no longer heavy, but full of quiet gratitude. Because love, she realized, doesn't always end with forever. Sometimes, it ends with a memory that keeps you breathing long after goodbye.